Welcome to the video tutorial of Python programming. So this is the other day of learning Python programming language. In this class, I want to just summarize the last concepts what we have learned in the earlier class. In the previous class, we have learned about the basics of Python language, like introduction to the Python, features of Python, where we use this Python language, and brief history of the Python language and how to set up the Python environment in our desktop system. And we learned about the process of Python program development cycle and some basic concept like input processing and output. For any program, what is the process of executing a program? That means we need to give the input, then it will process the data that will give the output. So these are all some basic concepts we have learned in the previous class. But today's class, I want to explain about in detail regarding the Python programming. So let's see what are the contents I'm going to cover in this class. So we are directly moving on to the language basics. That means what are the keywords that we are going to use in the program, and how we are displaying the output on the screen by using a print function, then how to write the comments in the language, then what are the variables, how we are using variables in the Python program, how to declare the variables and all that process. And the last concept that we are going to learn is reading input from the keyboard. That means how to give an input from the keyboard to the program, Python program especially. So we might have learned C programming, where the entire structure is different. We have some certain syntax for writing a program basics. Similarly, Python is also a language where we have some syntax for each and every programming statement. So these statements have to adhere the syntax of the program. So let's start with learning about what are the keywords that we have in Python programming. Like all other programming languages, we have some keywords. Similarly, here also in Python, we are using some different keywords to write a program. So 35 keywords as per the latest version of Python. We have 35 keywords. So all the keywords I have listed on the screen. So there may be so many different keywords like lambda and global, yield, okay, so assert, async. So these are the different keywords might we have not learned earlier. Some of the keywords already we are familiar with, like for, implementing the for loop, else if, global, try, return. So these are the keywords, some of the keywords that we are familiar with. But once we start writing the program, then we can able to understand what are the usage of these keywords. So any language, it is built on some standard predefined keywords. So Python is also the same kind of language where we have some built-in keywords. So with these keywords itself, we form the code. That means we write the statements in the Python program. So all these different keywords are going to be used while writing the program. So that is about the Python keywords. So nothing more to learn about these keywords, because once we start writing the code, then we can able to feel the importance of these keywords. Next, the next concept we are going to see is that means we are now going into some basic programming concepts. So any program generally any software program is based on the concept of input processing and output that we have learned in the previous class. So where we write a program, for that program we'll try to provide some input, then by using that input something will be done inside the program that we call it as a processing. Then after that it will give some result based on the input we are provided. So this is a process of writing any program or any computer program. So it will be like in 3 stages: input, then it will process the input, then give some desired output. So similarly here in Python, in this concept we are going to learn about how to display the output on the screen. Generally we use a print function in most of the programming languages, because as the name itself defines, print is nothing but it is to print something on the screen. So here also we do the same thing. There is a function called print in Python library which will display the output. That means whatever the argument or whatever the parameters that we are passing to that print function, it will simply process it and it will simply print that statement or print that number onto the screen. So displaying the output with the print function. So as you can see on the slide, so the main important feature of this print function is it will take one or more expressions separated by commas. That means the parameters, it will take one or more parameters from the user and converts that parameters into a string before writing onto the screen. That means whatever we provide the parameter to the print function, whether it is a string or a number or anything, it will convert it into a string. So you can see a small example on the screen where I have written print function, then followed by the parenthesis, then I am giving a string hello world which is in the double quotations. So any string which is in double quotations, so when you execute this, the small statement print hello world, you will get the output as hello world. That means whatever the string we are passing into that function, that will be displayed on the screen. So this can be you can try this with the Python IDE also. In the last video I have explained about how we can install the Python IDE and how to execute any commands. There is nothing a big process in that. It's as simple as that. You will open the Python IDE, then you will directly start writing the statements. Then you click on enter, automatically that output will be displayed. But you have to write the statement one by one and click on enter. After writing the first statement, then click on enter. That concerned output will be displayed. Similarly, we have to write all the statements. I can show in this video that how we can how we can use the IDE to execute these statements. So this is the IDE where we can type our commands directly. So now I want to use this print function and try to display a string hello world. Like you can see, when you click on enter, it will directly display the output on the second line. So similarly we can use all the programming statements. So it is a sample program how the print function will work. Okay, next we have some other examples how this print function will work. Like in example 2 on the screen, you can able to see that there is a second example where I am giving a value to the variable x is equal to 5. Then I am printing print x is equal to x. So obviously it will give the output as x is equal to 5. I am not defining any data type for x. Simply I am writing a statement x is equal to 5. This 5 will be automatically assigned into the x. So that is the other concept that we might be learn in the future classes. Like we should not define any data type for any value, because Python will automatically take the data type based on the value we are provided. Suppose x is equal to 5, so 5 is an integer variable, so I am assigning this 5 variable value of 5 in variable x. So automatically this x is considered as a integer variable. If at all you give the float value x is equal to some 5.0, then based on the value 5.0, in the sense it is a 5.0 is nothing but float value, so automatically x is a variable which stores the float value. So obviously x becomes float variable. So as simple as that. In Python programming, we are not defining any data types prior to the using that variables. So it's like a very simple kind of programming language. So that's what I have mentioned earlier in the classes, that Python is based on syntax based, and it is very easy to learn. Even if you don't have any programming knowledge, then also we can use this language. So if you want to use any value for you want to store any value into the variable, then you can simply provide that value to that variable, and we can use that variable in the program. Next, you can see another example of usage of this print statement. Suppose I have 3 values which I want to print on the screen. So I have a value called DataCamp, then tutorial, and Python. So we can provide multiple parameters to the print function. Multiple parameters to the print function. In the earlier class, in the earlier slide, we have seen only one parameter, that I am passing only one parameter to this print function. Whereas in this example, I am passing 3 parameters: DataCamp, tutorial, and Python, all the string variables. So simply I am giving all these variables in single quotations. Then if you click on enter, then you will get the output as DataCamp, tutorial, and Python. So we can check with this. So we can write the statement print, and I am giving a value DataCamp is one parameter, and the second one is tutorial. I am giving the third parameter as, again, that is in single quotations, Python. So if you click on enter, okay, so here is some error. I need to give close this single quotations. Again, copy this statement and try to close it with a single quotation and then close with the parenthesis. So now if you click on enter, then you have the display of all these parameters as DataCamp, tutorial, and Python. So it will display the output. It will display the output as we are giving the parameters. So it will accept the single parameter and multiple parameters and the values like this. So we can also use. And one more thing is, print function by default ends with a new line. When you have given some parameters to print on the screen, after printing all these parameters, automatically the cursor will be waiting in the next line. So there is no other special function it is used to print the next line. Whereas in C programming or C++, if you want to print in a new line, you need to write a function println. That means after displaying the output, the cursor has to wait in the next line. But here in Python, there is no such function called println. This print function itself, by default, it ends with a new line. So it will go into the next line automatically. Next, print can be used with a parameter called sep, that means separator. We can also pass a parameter called sep, which is called as a separator. Suppose if you see this example, I am giving some values to print on the screen, which is 192, 168 to 10. But what I want to print on the screen is, after 192, I should get dot. Then after 168, I should get again dot. And after 2, I should get again dot. So all these values has to be separated with dot. That is what I want to print on the screen. So if you want to do such kind of things, you have a special parameter that should be passed to the print function, which is called sep, that means separator. Separator is equal to, then what is the separator we should write in between these numbers is dot. That should be given in double quotations. So if you execute this statement, you will get the answer as 192.168.2.10. So after each and every number, we are getting a dot operator. Some people may want instead of dot, they want some hyphen. So you can mention in this parameter as sep is equal to double quotations. In the double quotations, we can mention hyphen. Then you will get the output as 192-168-2-10. So that is how sep argument can be used to separate the values. Likewise, we can write any separator. We can also mention @. If you mention @ here, then you will get the answer as 192-168-2-10. So that is one of the feature that we have to work with the print function. Next, the next concept we are going to cover is output formatting. We can try all these, whatever the programming constructs I am explaining on the screen. You can try with the IDE, or you can try with the Python IDE, where you can open the Python IDE and simply type those commands, and you can check whether that output is properly whether that statement is giving the proper output or not. Next one is output formatting. So output formatting, in the sense, there are different ways of displaying output on the screen. Some people may want output to be displayed on the left hand side. Some people, they want to display the output on the right hand side, or some people in the middle, and some people may want some spaces in between the numbers or in between the strings. So there are different forms of representing output on the screen. So to work with all these things, Python is also having output formatting concepts. That means we can print the output as we wish. So with that output formatting concepts, we can learn how to print our output in different formats. Let us do with some examples. So as a definition, we can say that on the screen we can be able to see that there are several ways to represent the output of a program. Data can be printed in the human readable form, or written to a file, or future use. Sometimes user often want more control on the formatting of the output than simply printing space separated values. So that's what I have said. Instead of printing in a normal casual way, people want the output should be displayed in different formats. So likewise, we can use these concepts to print the output in different formats. To print these outputs in different formats, basically we have two different procedures in Python where we can print the output in different styles. One is formatting output using string modulo operator, that is called as a percentage symbol. So if you see a small example here, I want to print an integer and a float value. So I am writing a statement print geeks, in double quotations I am giving some geeks, colon percentage 2d. I have given some 2d. I'll explain what is that 2d, comma, I am giving some portal, a string called portal, then after that colon, again I am giving percentage 5.2f. Okay, then at that we'll end that statement. Now what is this 2d and 2f? Here d stands for integer value, f stands for float value. So in these locations, like we use percentage d and percentage f in C programming, similarly I am using here percentage d. So at this percentage d, I want to get some integer value. At this percentage f, I want to get some float value. So as you can see in the output, geeks colon percentage 2d, at the place of percentage 2d, I am getting 1. And portal after that there is a colon, then I am getting a value, float value, which is called 5.33, which I have mentioned in this parameters list. So how should we use this in output formatting is, you write a print statement, then in double quotations whatever the output we need to print, we can give statements like this. Then at the place of the values like geeks percentage d. So what is this percentage d? I need to get some value at this place. Similarly after portal, I need to get a float value. So geeks 1, portal 5.33. I'll explain what is this 2d and 5.2f, why I have written this 2 here and 5.2 here. I'll explain that in the within few minutes. We can see some other example like print total students, colon percentage 3d. Forget about this 3 in front of that 3, you forget about that. You consider percentage d. So what is percentage d? Percentage d is obviously an integer value. Like we have learned in C programming also, percentage d stands for, it is a control string for displaying the integer value. Similarly, percentage f is a control string for displaying the float value. So here percentage d, total students percentage d, boys percentage d. After that I am writing a modulo operator percentage, then I am giving the values. So total how many students? 240 students, and in that students how many boys? 120 boys. So we'll get the output as this. You can see the output here, total students 240, boys 120. Okay, now I'll explain what is this 3d and 2d, and in the previous example I am writing some 2d here and 5.2f here. So let's start with this thing. So there is a statement print function, then I am writing geeks, then I am using this percentage 2d. What is this 2d? Is nothing but the total number of characters that I am displaying as a number. So here I want to display two numbers, that means two characters. Geeks 25. Okay, as an example I can take geeks 25. But the number I am passing to this percentage control string is only 1. So what it will take is, it will print 1 here and leading with 1 space, because I have not given the number as a 2 characters. It is only a 1-digit number. So 1 will be printed here, then the remaining place will be space. Similarly, portal colon percentage 5.2f. What is this 5.2f stands for is the total number of digits taken is 5 digits, and dot, after dot, how many digits I want to display? I want to display 2 values. After digit I want to display the 2 values. Okay, so that is the thing here. The total number of values I am passing is 05.33. That means total 5 characters. 0 is 1 character, 5 is 1 character, dot is 1 character, 3 is 1 character, 3 is again 1 character. So as I told you, each and every number or string or anything, it will take it as a print function, will take it as a string. That means the number of characters that we are displaying on the screen. So the output I want to display is, it should contain the 5 values, and after the point, that means after dot, you need to display 2 numbers. Okay, so when you see the output, it will display as 5.33. That means after decimal point there are 2 values, 33, and before that 05 is there, but 0 is having nothing value here, so I am simply printing 5. Okay, so totally how many places I am printing on the screen is 5.33. Then what about the other 5 characters, sir? You said that it is 5 characters, then it should be leading with a space. First of all, you will get a space, 1 space, after that 5, then dot, then 3, and then again 3. That is the total meaning of how we are, why we are writing this percentage 2D and percentage 5.2f like this. So it is called as a formatting of the output. So the same thing, it has been explained in the section here. So there is a paragraph where it will explain the same thing whatever we have written here. So in the next slide also the same explanation, why we have written 5.2f and what is the meaning of this 5.2f. Okay, as I told you, the total number of characters that I want to display is 5, then 0.2, that means after dot, that means after decimal point, I should print 2 characters. So that is my requirement. Okay, so if I have given 0.05.333, okay, but obviously what we get as a output is 5.33, because after decimal point I want to print only 2 values, 33, even though if we have a very large number, but I don't consider it here. Okay, because that is what I have written in the program. That is what I want to format the output to be displayed on the screen. So after decimal point I want only 2 characters. So only 2 characters will be printed. Okay, the remaining characters will be lost. Okay, hope you understood this concept. So if you have written 3D here, what will suppose you can see here, I have written 3D here. Why I have written 3D? Because I have 3 characters, that means 3 numbers that should be printed as a output. One is 2, then the second one is 4, and third one is 0. So totally 3 numbers, 240. So I should mention how many values I am printing on the screen, because each and every value is take it as a character. Okay, so next you can see his percentage 2D. 2D means what? The total number of characters is 2. Only 2 characters. So here obviously 120 will be printed as 12. That's it. Only 12. Okay. So that is a usage of this print function. Next, octal value. If you want to convert any octal value, so simply in the print function itself we can do that by mentioning percentage 7.30, again quotation, then percentage symbol, then in brackets we need to mention the number, to which number I want to convert it as an octal number. So 25, when you convert that in an octal number, it will give as a 031. Answer is 031. So you will display that as a 7.30. That means this total precision value, that means 7 characters, then after decimal there are 3 values. Okay, so similarly we can use this print function in different kinds of formats. Next, there is a method called format method in Python program. With that format method, I can also print the output as I wish. Suppose if I want to print a statement, I love India for its diversity. Okay, by using a format method, there is a method to print output as I required. So if you see in this example, we use a pair of curly braces. Suppose in print statement, I want to write a statement like this: I love, in brackets I need to mention something, that means India. Okay, and for its, again I need to mention some curly braces here. Okay, so in these curly braces I want different values to be substituted. So I should write a statement in this format: I love, the first pair is to store some value here for its, then again the second pair of parenthesis is to store some other value here. Then after ending of this dot, you should mention the dot. Then we have to write a statement called format. It's a method. Then in that method, what are the values that I should be substituted in this pair of curly braces? In the first curly brace, you need to substitute India. In the second curly brace, you should substitute diversity. So India should be enclosed in single quotations and diversity should be enclosed in single quotations. So when you execute this statement, you will get the output as I love India for its diversity. Okay, so here in the first pair of parenthesis, India will be stored. In the second pair of parenthesis, diversity will be stored. Now suppose if we want to change these values, so we can use the same statement, but here I can change the values as some different values. Instead of India, we can write some other value. Instead of diversity, I can write some other value. So according to these values, the output will be displayed. Okay, so this is called as a formatting of output using a format method. We have a method called format. So let's see with another example. So we can mention in this fashion also. So we can write the, here I can also mention in first parenthesis 0, second parenthesis 1. That means 0 in the sense the first parameter, India, should be replaced in 0, and the second parameter is diversity. So that means these parameters are, first parameter as 0, second parameter as 1. If at all you have third parameter, that is 3. So 0 at the 0 place, India will be substituted. At 1 place, diversity will be substituted. Okay, the same thing we have written here. So I am writing in curly braces 0 and 1. So India and diversity. So because 0 stands for India, India will be displayed here. Similarly, diversity, 1 will be first parameter as diversity. So if you want to print the same function in this fashion, like we write in parenthesis 1 as a first parameter and then 0 as second parameter, then obviously the contents will be reversed, because 0 is India, 1 is diversity. So what happens in the output when you execute the second statement is, obviously it will reverse the contents, because we have written 1 here, then after 0. So diversity will be printed first and then India. So like that we can change these outputs. Okay, so this is the second method called as a format method. So in this method, by using a format method, we can display the output as we wish on the screen. The only thing is you need to write a pair of curly braces wherever the value is required, and then a format method. In that format method, I should pass the parameters. What are the values that should be printed on the screen? So that should be printed in between the statements. Okay, hope you understood this concept. Next one. Now this is a very simple concept. Like in any programming language, comments section will be there. That means comments will be used to explain or to give the useful information that the developers want to provide for the programmer to understand the statements. So similarly here I am using comments in Python programming. Comments will be used like this. So the next concept is comments. Comments are the useful information that the developers provide to make the reader understand the source code. So we write the general program. After writing this program, if any person want to see that program and want to understand what is the purpose of the writing this program, so we can mention the statements, the purpose of these statements in the comment section. So in Python programming, comments will be used as, in Python programming, there are two different kinds of comments we can use: single line comments and multiple line comments. Single line comments, it can be done by providing a hash symbol at the start of each line. Suppose you can see a small program here. A comma B, I am providing the values 1 comma 3. A is 1 and B is 3. And the next statement is I am writing sum is equal to A plus B. Then I am printing the sum of A plus B as, that will be stored as sum. So you can print sum. So the output will be displayed as a result, which is 4. So here I am providing the comments for the each and every line. That means in the first line I am telling what is the purpose of writing these variables. That means what I am doing in this line, that is declaring two integers. Then in the second line I am writing a hash symbol and then followed by some description. That is what the statement is about, adding two integers. Then again the third statement, which is nothing but displaying the output. So in the first line itself I have written some description regarding this program. That means program to add two numbers. Okay, so this hash symbol is used to provide the single line comments for the program. Similarly, we can use multiple line string as a comment. That means before writing a program, you want to write some description regarding that program, which is not in a single line. It should contain a multiple line. That means it's like a paragraph. One is multiple line string as a comment. That means if you want to provide multiple lines as a description of any program, we can do it by providing this with a 3 double quotation symbols at the starting and ending of that paragraph. So you can able to see in this example, I want to write some description in the program, like this would be a multi-line comments in Python that spans several lines and describes importance of Python in computer science field. Okay, so this is a total paragraph, but this paragraph contains multiple lines. So while providing the comments, I can give this as a 3 double quotation symbols as a unit at the beginning of the description and at the end of the description. Okay, and there should not be any spaces in between these double quotations. All the 3 double quotations will be taken as an unit. That you need to remember. Okay, next one, Python variables. So how we are defining the variables? Okay, so Python variable is very simple concept, like in other programming languages also. A variable is nothing but it is a memory location where we can store some value. Okay, so it is a name that should be given to the memory location where we can store some value and we can retrieve that value for the future purpose. Okay, But in other languages, we need to mention if I want to declare any variable, I need to mention the data type also of that variable. Suppose if I want to store an integer value in x, so what should I write a statement? Int x is equal to 10. What is the meaning of that? 10 will be stored in variable x, which is of integer type. Okay, but in Python, there is nothing like writing a data type in front of the variable name. So as you can see on the screen, syntax is simple. Variable name is equal to value. I am not mentioning whether it is an integer or a float or anything. So simply I can write variable name is equal to value. So you can see the example here. Roll number. I have taken a value. I have taken a variable called roll number is equal to I am storing a value called 101. So if I want to print that, print student roll number is, in brackets I am giving the roll number. Okay, so when you execute this statement, you will get the output as student roll number is 101, because this parenthesis is nothing but it is a formatted output. Okay, so as in the previous section we have learned about what is this format method. So we can write dot format, then we can specify the parameter. Okay, or otherwise we can use like this in print statement itself. While writing the statement, the total statement, we can provide f in front of this. So as you can see on the screen, I am writing in print statement. After opening the brace, I am writing f. Then after f, I am writing the total statement what I want to display on the screen. So in single quotations, student roll number is, then I am opening a parenthesis and I am giving the roll number. So at this roll number, 101 will be substituted. Okay, the student roll number is 101. You will get the answer like this. Next, declaring the multiple variables in a single comment. This is also very important one. See, this option will not be available in any other programming languages, especially not in C or C++. Suppose I have two values. In a single statement itself, I want to declare and assign the values to these two variables. Suppose I have a variable called name, then I have a variable called roll number. I can directly assign these values as writing is equal to, then open the bracket. Then in the first parameter, I am giving the name, which is in single quotations, comma, then I am giving the value. So what happens is, in this example, Rama will be stored in the variable called name, and 101 will be stored in the variable called roll number. So name is equal to Rama, roll number is equal to 101. Okay, but whereas in other programming languages, I need to write it in two statements. Like name is equal to Rama, it is one statement. Then in the next statement, I need to write roll number is equal to 101. So, but here in Python, we can declare multiple variables in a single statement. Okay, so the same thing if you want to print on the screen as like writing a statement like this, printf statement, like in C programming, we write printf. Here it is a print. Then we can write f, single quotations, then we start writing a statement, whatever the output you want to display. Student name, that name should be substituted with Rama. So I need to write a variable name here. In curly braces, I need to provide the name here. Then roll number is, then my roll number is stored in the variable called roll number. So I need to write the roll number, roll underscore number. So what happens when you execute the statement is Rama will be substituted in the name and 101 will be substituted in the roll number. So we'll get the answer as student Rama, roll number is 101. Okay, so that is like the variables will be substituted and displayed the result. So don't get confused why I am writing this f instead of writing the format method. I can use a format method also. Like I can write the statement like this and I can give comma dot format of, then I can provide these values there directly. But it is another way of writing the print statement like. Okay, so we can provide the f here first, then f in the sense format method. Okay, I want to print the output in some specific format. Okay, so that is f stands for. Then again, single quotations, write a statement. Then again, it will be ended with a single quotation. So that is another way of declaring the variables. Okay. Next, as I said, any variable, its type is not declared initially. That means if I want to use any variable, don't write any type there. You can simply use that variable as a is equal to 105. Okay, basing on the value, the data type of a will be defined. Okay, but if you want to specifically know what is the type of a, I have declared a is equal to 105. So I have obviously 105 is an integer value. By seeing that, I can able to say that a is 105 and a is of type integer. But if you want to specifically know the type of that variable, then you should write a statement print type of a. In brackets, you can write type of a. So when you write type of a, obviously it will be displayed as class integer. On the right hand side section, you can say able to see that. So these statements I have executed in the Python IDE, then I'll get the answer as I get the answer as like this. So after print type of a, then what I get the answer as class int. That means this is of integer type. Then I have executed the second statement, a is equal to 10.66. So obviously we can see that 10.66 is a float value. So a becomes is of float type. Okay, we know that, but if you want to specifically explicitly want to know the type of the variable a, then you write the statement like this, print type of a. Then you will get the answer as class float. Similarly, a is equal to Rama. So I have given some Rama, that means a string, into a variable. Okay. Now if you want to see what type of data type a is, obviously we are storing a string, then the data type of a is string, str. So it will display like this, class str. Okay, so that is one of the concepts related to the variables, where we can want to explicitly know the type of variables, then we can mention like this. Okay, so once again I want to summarize the concepts what we have learned here today. There are some keywords, then how to use with the print function, how to make use of the print function in Python programming, then how to write the comments in Python programming, then variables, what are the variables and how the variables can be used in the Python programming. And the last concept that we have for the today's section is reading input from the keyboard. That means how to read the input from the keyboard. Like we have a scanf function in C language. The scanf function can be used to read the value from the keyboard. Similarly, Python also have two built-in functions to read the input from the keyboard. One is input method, second one is raw underscore input method. Okay, but as I mentioned there, raw underscore input method is a old versions, it is used in old versions of Python, that is in 2.x or something, but nowadays we are using Python 3, that means the latest versions of Python 3.1, 3.8. Now the currently latest version is 3.8, I have told in the last class. Okay, so let's see how this input method can be used to get the value from the keyboard. So as you can see on the screen, the definition of a input method, the function first takes the input from the user and then evaluates the expression, which means Python automatically identifies whether user entered a string or a number or a list. Okay, so input method automatically reads the value what we have provided. Okay, like you need to write a statement like this: val is equal to, val is nothing but a variable we have used, is equal to, I am using an input method, then enter your number. Okay, so after enter your number, the cursor has to wait to get the input from the keyboard. Once you enter some value from the keyboard, then that value will be used for the further sections of the program. So here what I did is, simply I am taking an value from the keyboard, and simply I am printing that value. Okay, that value will be stored in val. Okay, so if you print val, obviously whatever the input value we have taken from the keyboard, that will be printed. So when you execute this small section of the code, you will get the output as enter your number. Then the cursor will be waiting at that position to enter some number at that position. After you enter some number 123, then that 123 will be stored in val. Then after the second statement is print val, nothing but I am printing the value which is stored in val. Simply you will get the answer as 123. Okay, so it is very simple process. So only thing is you need to write a function, a method called input. Instead, like we write scanf function in C programming, here we need to write the input method. Okay, but scanf function you have some different syntax there. You need to write some control strings and everything. Here no need to write any control strings or anything. You can simply assign a variable to that, val is equal to input, enter your number. Then obviously that value will be stored into the val. Okay, it is as simple as that. Next, we can take the multiple inputs from the user also. If I want to take two numbers, suppose like in C programming, we write a print of the values of a comma b, we can write a statement like this. So now we can use a scanf function like scanf %d comma ampersand a comma ampersand b. Okay, so there what I am doing is I am taking two input values from the keyboard, but that is not possible with Python. So here in Python we use split function to accept the multiple inputs from the user. Okay, split function. So it is a combination of input function and split function. So as a syntax you can see that input, after that input function, after that dot, then split function. Okay, and the split function, we can mention the separator and max split. That means the separator means after each and every value, what is the separator I should mention, either comma or dot or hyphen or @ symbol like that. And maximum number of parameters, how many maximum number of parameters, that can also be mentioned. Okay, but generally we don't use any these parameters, we simply write split. So you can see in example, xy is equal to input, enter the two values. Okay, so input, we are writing an input function, then opening the brace, then I am writing a statement in double quotations, enter the two values, then double quotations close and dot split. Okay, so when we execute this statement, this single statement, the cursor will be waiting for enter the two values. First you will enter some value that will be stored in x, and next again you enter some other value that will also be stored in y. So when you want to print the values, print number of boys x, number of girls y. So as simple. So x will be stored some value that will be printed like this. Number of boys, you have written a statement called number of boys, comma x. So already x has taken some value. So in the output section you can able to see on the left hand side I have given some output. Enter two values, 5 comma 10. You need to give two values at a time, 5 space 10. So 5 will be stored in x, in y 10 will be stored. So when you execute the statement, number of boys is 5, number of girls 10. Okay, similarly we can take three values, x comma y comma z is equal to input, enter the three values, dot split. So split function is used to separate the input values. That means we can take multiple inputs from the user. Okay, so to take multiple inputs from the user, we need to write the split method. Okay, so this is about the multiple inputs from the user. So hope you understood all these concepts. So it's better you open the Python IDE and try to execute all these statements, whatever I have given in the whatever we have discussed in the video. So you type all these statements in the Python IDE, then you can able to understand how the program works and how these statements works. Okay, so that's it for the class today. Thank you.